Black Panther versus Spider-Man. Who wins in the MCU? We're just going to talk about the MCU versions of these characters. So there's 3 of us today, and each of us have picked a winner. We're going to reveal that first and then discuss why by talking about each of their attributes and, why we thought that they won. So, all right, guys, who wins? I'm going to go ahead and start first and say that my pick is Black Panther.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going to go next, and I'm just going to have to agree with Scott. Black Panther wins.
All right.
Which is hard for me to say because Spider-Man is my favorite hero.
Yeah, he's my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah. I have to agree with you guys.
I knew it.
All right.
That Black Panther wins. And okay, I will say that the stipulations for this fight are that they're based on the highest level of each character that we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe alone. Sure. So this is excluding everything that we know about the characters from either the comics or other medium like cartoons or what have you. Yeah. It's just the characters that we've seen in the movies. And so based off that, like, it's difficult for me, but I have to go with Black Panther.
Yeah. And also something to note, we are including their equipment and armors, like basically the highest version of their suits that we've seen so far. So we haven't seen Infinity War, so we don't know what Spider-Man's new suit is going to carry. But based off of what we've seen so far, I guess all 3 of us are going for Black Panther.
Yeah. I kind of was expecting Chuka to go with Spidey.
Yeah.
No. I like when he said the MCU universe, I was just like, okay. And then there's no way. Like,
yeah.
I think if we were to talk comics, then I'd say Spider-Man. How about
Yeah, for sure. Spider-Man.
See, that's the thing. Well, it depends what comic book, right? Because there's different versions. Mm-hmm. But there is probably a version of Spider-Man that can beat Black Panther. So I would say
I think your average version of Spider-Man can beat average Black Panther or standard Black Panther, whatever standard means.
Okay, well, that's a hard part because I'm not familiar. See, I have to be familiar with the Black Panther comics to say that. So that's
that's a tangent. So
yeah,
maybe we'll discuss that in a different video. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about like their attributes and why we thought they won. So the first attribute, these attributes might not even have to do with why they won, but let's go ahead and just discuss them anyways. Like, in terms of strength, which one do you think is like the stronger character?
I would say, okay, so this is a hard one because Spider-Man, it's a more natural strength.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like his Spider-Man's abilities would do that. But obviously with the suit, and this is why I automatically let Black Panther win because, like, again, anytime you hit his suit, he can just regenerate it back and hit you 10 times back. So once you have that ability, basically anything that happens to him, it's just like it's gonna bounce back and hit Peter Parker.
Yeah, I have to agree that the although I will say, like, even if you remove. Actually, okay, hold on. So I'll agree with that. Like, based on the suit, if you put that into the situation, Black Panther wins as far as like brute strength that they can exude. But if you are looking at it just from like pure individual bodies without any sort of aid, I think you have to give it to Spider-Man in that situation. Definitely. As far as like who's stronger.
Yeah, he caught a car easily, which was. Basically, some people did calculations and they said it was like 80 tons of impact. And he held together a ship, that was cut in half too.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure what the strongest thing we've seen Black Panther do is. Like, what I remember he lifted
he hasn't
something.
done a lot of strong things. Like he's lifted a couple things, but as far as like brute strength, we haven't seen much from him in that way.
You have not seen Wakanda yet.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so speed. Let's go speed. Who do you think is faster out of these 2 characters?
Speed. Okay, so with speed, if we're talking about like foot speed, like who's faster at running, I would say Black Panther for sure.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like if Spidey can use his web slingers, obviously that's gonna get him places faster.
Let's say he can. Let's just say like speed without tools. basically.
Without tools, Black Panther.
Yeah, I agree.
All of us are just agreeing with each other.
I mean, it's just that's the thing. But definitely with the tools, especially considering that we're playing off of the whole MCU universe. Spidey's Iron Man suit would definitely get him there faster with no feet, if you will.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That suit would just do all the work for him.
Yeah, but you do remember like when he was trying to web sling to a place and then he just started running across the field, and he didn't seem that fast. Like in
he's
Civil
not very
War,
fast.
Black Panther was running faster than cars. So
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I still think that suit, that new the suit he got in Homecoming, that doesn't make him not use his Spidey sense because the suit does it for him.
Yeah.
That thing I think could make him go faster.
Okay. But just a final remark on speed. I think Black Panther was running probably faster than 60 miles per hour. There's this guy on Stack Exchange that like did a calculation, and I found that to be very interesting. Like he's running 60 miles an hour. Anyways.
Yeah. Well,
All
usually
right.
goes to Black Panther.
Let's go with durability and endurance, and let's say without their suits, because obviously with Black Panther's suit, he has like probably infinite durability and endurance. So let's just say like without their suits.
Yeah, without the suits, I think we have to give that to Spidey as well. I don't think there's much of an argument there either, because I'm basing this off of the explosion that we see in Civil War that caught T'Challa. We're assuming that he had his powers while he was there, but he was just without his suit, and he seemed pretty dazed from that explosion. I don't think such a thing would have dazed Spider-Man.
Okay, that's also the fact that a building fell on Spider-Man and he got out of it and still fought Vulture at the end and won. So I'd agree with that. But with the suit, obviously Black Panther would win that.
Yeah, with the suit.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting pattern. Like all of this is coming down to with or without the suit. So
Okay, so let's just cut it to that then, because I was gonna talk about intellect and skill and experience, but I think both of those things go to Black Panther in terms of fighting, just because he's had more fights and Black Panther is a warrior king, so obviously he's gonna be more skilled. And in terms of intellect, he has more fighting experience, which boosts his fighting intellect.
Definitely.
And then even with like typical like intelligence, we don't really see the classic super intelligence of Spider-Man that we've seen in other iterations of Spider-Man. Like this one doesn't seem to be as genius level.
That's because the whole point of this Spider-Man is like a Spider-Man in training, so he's just new to everything. So
it'd be interesting to do a video about this like later when Spider-Man grows a lot,
for sure.
But also like we don't know about T'Challa's intellect that well either, but we do know he's from freaking Wakanda, so I'm pretty sure he's gotta be like really smart. So
we know he's from Wakanda, but then also at the same time, like when he's talking to his sister, he doesn't get a lot of the technological stuff.
He's like, I just do whatever they do me,
Okay, so here is the final question. In a fight where they don't have their suits, who would win?
It's visually going to be Black Panther, just because again he's just a better fighter. He understands. Like I feel like even though Spider-Man will jump around, he'd be like, in Wakanda we fight spiders like this. So you'd probably figure it out. I just think that like the reason why I definitely go with what's his name, T'Challa more than Peter, just because like I just recently saw a death battle with Batman versus Black Panther. Spoiler alert, Batman loses. So and that's kind of made me think that T'Challa is kind of like Batman in a sense, or Bruce Wayne in a sense. So I can kind of see that even though Peter Parker can have all these webs advantage, T'Challa is kind of like this James Bond type of figure who would probably figure it out within the fight. So I'm going to give it to Black Panther.
Okay.
I might have to disagree on that one.
Perfect. Oh, yes. Interesting.
If we're talking about without the suits, I think that I just have to give it to Spidey. And I'm assuming also Spider-Man doesn't have his web slingers.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so yeah, I think based off of that, I have to give it to Spidey because Spidey is far more agile than Black Panther. I'm gonna go off the assumption that Spider-Man is more agile than Black Panther and also stronger than Black Panther. Black Panther is faster and he has the advantage when it comes to combat experience, but then I don't know if that's enough to beat Spider-Man's natural agility and strength. I think with those factors combined, if they're in hand-to-hand combat, they can't use any tools or their suits. I think I have to give it to Spider-Man.
That's interesting, because like for me, I'm trying my best to base it off like what I've seen in the movies, and what I've seen in the movies is that Spider-Man fought Captain America when technically Captain America only has a shield, right? But yet Spider-Man had his full suit. He wasn't as experienced, but Captain America still bested him, you know? He still bested him just with the shield, just with the vibranium shield. And arguably, I'd say Black Panther is probably on the same strength levels as Captain America. Bucky, though, he punched Spider-Man, and Spider-Man just grabbed it like nothing and sent him back like nothing as well. So it's tough because I do believe that Black Panther can beat Bucky because he's shown it in the Civil War movies. Just hand-to-hand combat, he beat Bucky. But I'd argue that Bucky and Captain America are around the same level, so that's why I would have to give it to Black Panther.
And again with Black Panther, again with the Spider-Man, I mean, Spider-Man again is my favorite hero, so it is hard for me to go against him. But again, compare it to this MCU, this is a Spider-Man who's new to all this. So he's not new to like spies sneaking on him and stuff like that. And I feel like Black Panther, him being in part of like his thing in Wakanda being sort of like a spy agency, he kind of would know how to maneuver around Spider-Man. So that's why I'm giving it to him, because although Peter does have the advantage of strength and all agility and all that, and in theory technically he has the Spidey sense, but I don't know if the movie's played it so far. So in theory he should have the advantage. The problem is, again, this is an untrained Spider-Man. He's new to a lot of things. And I feel like the way he would act, the way his character kind of ruins him from actually able to defeat Black Panther. So I think that's why I'm going to have to give it to Black Panther.
Also, one last thing to note, the whole strength thing versus experience. Like, if you think about Batman and you think about all the people he's fought and how most of them, or like a whole lot of his villains are a lot stronger than him, but Batman can still win. That's also a factor that I'm putting into this, the whole experience thing, because definitely Peter is very unexperienced right as of this moment in the movies, and Black Panther is a very, very skilled fighter.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fair to bring up experience, although I think you have to, like, I feel like it comes to a limit when you're talking about, because when you're talking about somebody like Batman, who is essentially the most intelligent human being, like he's the epitome of he's essentially the epitome of everything that it means to be like the perfect human being. I don't know that you can compare his level of experience to Black Panther's level of experience. Because like when Batman comes up to a problem that he doesn't know how to solve, he does research and he like invents something that can help him to
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
And
that's
so,
true.
And then like and so, but with this, like I just keep coming back to it's just them, nothing else helping them, no tools, no weapons, no suits. And I think with that, I mean, for me personally, I don't see Black Panther winning.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I'm leaning towards the middle, and the only thing that puts me on Black Panther's side is just because of his fighting experience and just from the movies how Spider-Man lost to Captain America.
That's fair.
Yeah. For me, it's just like, because I know Black Panther is sort of like, again, it's hinted that he's a spy. Even if without gadgets, I feel like there's something he can do, like maybe hit Peter in a certain pressure point, and that can make Peter fall down. And again, because this Peter Parker is inexperienced, he wouldn't be able to avoid that. So because of that, that's the reason why I'm giving him more of the advantage.
Also, Spider-Man got knocked out through like head trauma when he tried jumping really fast upwards in the truck. Remember when he got knocked out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The only thing, I feel like we've never actually seen T'Challa get hurt while in his Black Panther like state. Have we?
Wait, an actual suit?
No. Just like with the herb. Because we've only seen him get hurt when he gets the power of the Black Panther taken away from him. Yeah,
No,
but
not that I know of.
yeah, but even with
Yeah,
the
I can't
suit,
think of it.
a final thing that we should note though is that even with his suit, like say, is there a single way to beat him with his suit on? Like this newest suit. I'm just trying to think. Like you'd either have to have vibranium or some tech we haven't seen before.
Yeah, that's what they said in the Death Battle video, that because Batman doesn't know how to use vibranium, that's why he lose. Like if Batman knew how to figure that out, of course he can beat T'Challa, but since he doesn't know that, he lost. So
Yeah, I think it comes down to the vibranium.
yeah,
That's what it is. Like he's essentially indestructible with that suit on.
basically.
And the only thing that that Spider-Man might be able to do is immobilize him by like stringing him up. But I don't know if he's skilled enough to be able to manage that.
Yeah, and also he has vibranium claws, so
Yeah,
Oh,
claws. Unless he ties his
Yeah.
claws up above. Yeah, I don't know. It would be tough.
it would be really tough. All right.
yeah.
Well, all of us are in consensus that Black Panther would win with their suits on. But that was interesting that you think that Spider-Man would win without the suits. In some ways I can agree with you, but from what I've seen in the movies, I'd have to give it to Black Panther at this moment.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
But thanks for playing devil's advocate.